Guys, I just got fucking poked knuckle deep in the eyeball. What the fuck? Why are you booing? What am I supposed to do about it? I didn't do the fucking poke. I can't see.
Hello, welcome to the Combat Corner podcast. I'm Alex, and today I will be discussing the events of UFC 321. Now, just before I get into it, I actually thought this was a very good card overall. I thought on paper it was a solid 7, 8 out of 10 card, and the way it played out was it was pretty perfect up until the main event. Right, I'm going to start from the top at the main event and I'm going to work my way down the card. Sorry if I go a little bit on a rant with this Aspinall fight with Cyril Gane, but I'm going to get into that now. So starting with Aspinall versus Gane, I am fuming at that outcome. Like, out of every single possible way that fight could have played out, it just had to play out in that stupid way with an eye poke that ended the fight in the first round. It was shaping up to actually be a competitive fight. Personally, I think Aspinall would have got Gane out of there in the second round. But it was a pretty decent fight. I want to talk about what people are saying online in regards to Tom Aspinall and that he's a quitter, that he quit in that fight. You're all stupid if you're saying that, and chances are you've never set foot in a ring or on a mat in any kind of combat sport ever in your life, and you're sitting there behind the TV with a bag of crisps in your hands, just munching down and criticising where you can. It's honestly disgraceful that people are saying all that about Aspinall. He had Cyril Gane completely penetrated his eye. I mean, an eye poke is one thing where you poke their eye. He nearly gouged his eye out of his head. It went knuckle deep into his eye. And it was his both eyes. I couldn't believe it. It was one of the worst, probably the worst eye poke I've ever seen in the UFC, ever. And a lot of people are saying now that John Jones... Oh, imagine what John Jones would have done to Tom Aspinall. Imagine what he would have done. Shut up and cop onto yourself. Because you haven't a fucking clue what you're talking about. If that's your train of thought. Your logic is, right, Tom Aspinall had a no contest after an illegal foul or an unintentional foul. Oh, John Jones would have punched him around. Really? What would John Jones have done? Poked his eyes and it ended in another no contest. Oh, Tom Aspinall wouldn't have liked fighting John Jones. He'd no contest him even worse than Cyril Gane. Woo. It's a joke. The fight, it was a sickener. It really was. I don't know if it was intentional or not. I really don't. If it was intentional, fuck you, Gane. But I don't think it was, and he seemed fairly apologetic. It's tough to call because Gane was actually doing pretty well in the fight, and he was even on strikes with Aspinall. And a lot of people were saying that Gane would just get slept in the first round or subbed in the first round. So, if he did intentionally do that, I have no idea why, because he was doing quite well for himself. That also makes me want to talk about people saying that Gane dominated Aspinall. You're stupid. Just because someone in a heavyweight fight, has a nosebleed doesn't mean that they've landed some significant damage. Nosebleeds happen down the local club at 20% sparring down in the local boxing gym. Of course it's going to happen in a heavyweight fight. So what if his nose is bleeding? It wasn't real damage. Aspinall was landing the heavier shots. He was putting together combinations, and so was Gan. I would have edged around Aspinall just because he hit him with a nice right hand. That was a really big strike, and he seemed to hurt Gan with a leg kick. So I would edge the first round to Aspinall, but it was competitive. Such a sickener. Really is, and I'm sorry if you just had to listen to me ranting on there. I do apologise, but I could go on and on about how pissed off I am, but I'll leave it at that and I'll move on. But before I do, I hope that Dana White just books it as soon as possible while they're still fresh. None of this 6 month shy. Just as soon as both fighters are available, book it. I don't care when it is. Could be an Azerbaijan fight night for all I care. Book the fight. Then, yeah, just as soon as possible. Right, I'll get a move on now. Yanderova versus Mackenzie Dern was the only fight on the card, I believe, that I got my prediction wrong. I thought Yanderova would beat Mackenzie Dern in their rematch, but I was proved wrong. Mackenzie Dern she's the better fighter that night. Competitive fight, actually wasn't too bad. I just thought Yanderova was more impressive recently than Dern, but yeah, Dern got the win, and it's nice to see a new champion be crowned, so congrats to her. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Batista. Pretty good fight, if you ask me. I think Umar was landing the better shots. He was landed so many takedowns in the third round. So many. Batista smacked Umar with a knee. Umar level changed into Batista's knee. I believe in the second round. I was worried for Umar there. I thought he would have been put out, but no, he kept composed and he came out with the win. Mario Batista entertained me, I'll say. He's once again criminally underrated. I'm not a super fan of him. I'm not like his number one fan by any means, but I just think he's very underrated. And it wasn't a bad fight. Should Umar fight for the title next? Maybe. He was left for Merab, I don't know. So if you want to book that fight again, book it again. But I think Merab gets the better of him in their rematch. Okay, moving on to the next one. Volkov versus Almeida. That was a pretty shit fight. Volkov was doing everything he could to, he was trying to get back to his feet. He was utilising strikes on the ground. Almeida was just taking down Volkov, sitting there doing nothing. Not even changing position, not going for a submission attempt, not striking, nothing. He sat there, did nothing. So very good refereeing from Mark Goddard to say, right lads, stand up, nothing's going on here, get up. No nonsense with Mark Goddard. He's one of my favourite referees of the sport. Himself and Mike Beltran are my two favourites. Yeah, I'd say Volkov fights the winner of Aspinall Gan 2. Volkov, yeah, I think Gan and Aspinall fight as soon as possible. Then the winner of that fights Volkov. Let Volkov rest up a bit because he had the three round fight. He went the distance, and then we'll see what's next after that. Maybe Pereira for the heavyweight belt, but we'll see. Now moving on to the first fight that opened the main card, Alexander Rakic versus Asmat Mirzakhanov. Yeah, great knockout. Really great knockout. He dropped him with a jab. It was a straight left hand. Rakic just leaned into the punch. Nice execution. It was actually, I had predicted Asmat to knock out Rakic. I think he's an amazing finisher. Really powerful. And he's also excuse me, dangerous on the ground too. Asmat might be one of the best to watch in the UFC right now. I won't even say he's one of the best, like the favourites for the hardcore fans. I think even some of the casual fans are beginning to see what he's doing and paying attention to his career unfold. And yeah, I'm excited to see his career play out. Right, this is the last fight of the prelims now. Haqparzad versus Sakilo. Or Sakil, sorry, excuse me. What is there to say? That was the most brutal thing I've ever seen in my life. On live television, period. God love that guy that got knocked out. God love him. And like, I really hope he recovers from that, because I don't know if he can even fight again after that. He went down and was unconscious for 12 minutes. 12 minutes. I thought he killed him. So, my thoughts and prayers are with Haqparzad. That was a rough one to watch, it really was. But Sakil, he knocked out Anshul Jubli in a couple of seconds not so long ago. Now he did that. He's good. He's going to be ranked. He's going to be good. Watch out for this guy. Okay, moving on next. Aliskerov versus Park. To be honest, I thought at moments Park was going to finish Aliskerov. Aliskerov really gassed out the end of the second, going into the third maybe. Aliskerov came out with the decision. It wasn't a bad fight. I think both guys kind of slowed down going into the third a lot. But yeah, it was Khabib was in Aliskerov's corner, gave him some quality advice. Don't show him you're tired. If you do, take him down, mix it up, like quality advice. Moving on to the next fight. Klein versus Rebecki. Knew this was going to be the fight of the night. I knew it. Rebecki is a machine. That was the bloodiest fight I've ever seen in my life too. It wasn't little droplets of blood. It was like someone just turned on a tap that poured out blood. My God, that was poetically violent, is how I'll put it. It was. They're two real gladiators. And God, Rebecki's just so fun to watch. And I'm going to look out for this Klein guy from now on too. Okay, moving on to the next fight. A heavyweight bout. Walker versus Sutherland. A fourth leg lock in a row. What the fuck? Walter Walker is a machine. A leg lock machine. His last 4 fights have been finished with a leg lock. What kind of a statistic is that? It's crazy. He's actually good. He is good. Like, call him a one-trick pony all you want. He could take that into the top 5 and possibly a title contender in the near future. Walter Walker is impressive win. Fair play. Now, moving on to the next fight, Nathaniel Wood versus Delgado. I love Nathaniel Wood. I love to see him fight. I really do. I actually bumped into a couple of his friends in Manchester with my dad. They were all nice people. And he seems like a nice person too. I like to watch him. I saw him fight at London and UFC 304. Always very technical, beautiful low kicks. Utilised that in this fight. He got dropped with a spinning elbow in the first. But he managed to get up, recover, and then he dragged him out to a decision and won the fight in the end. Hats off. Next fight, Abdel Wahab versus Chris Barnett. Need I say more? Just really embarrassing that's the UFC level competition. Really bad fight. Anyway, Maxum versus Mitropozo. Mitropozo's great. Great win. Brilliant. Not much more to say about that fight. He's just good. I'm going to be honest, the card played out quite nicely. Even better than I expected, and I had high expectations out of it. The main event was just such a letdown. Like, there was just something had to go wrong for Tom Aspinall. He's too special. I mean, I knew the universe couldn't let someone his skill level as good as Tom Aspinall just have something good going for him. Like, there just had to be something. He gets eye poked. Oh, I'm gutted. I'm really gutted. Oh. Right, well, that's enough from me. I may take this take this episode down in future. But this has just been my little rant about UFC 321. I will say that I am happy with the card overall. Just the main event was just devastating. It really was. One more thing before I go. Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley. What was that stoppage? And why is no one complaining about it? Are we just going to start allowing people to throw punches at the air and get a stoppage for it? He missed the last 3 shots that Fabio Wardley threw. All missed. And Parker wasn't even that hurt. What was the stoppage? I couldn't believe it. And I really like Fabio Wardley, but Joseph Parker deserved Usyk 2 fights ago. Why do we keep putting him in these stupid title eliminators? Just so, all the promoters get money from, they don't want him to fight Usyk because maybe he's not as marketable. Like, say Fabio Wardley's English and, oh, look, another English guy tries to fight Usyk and loses again. Look at this, guys. We're going to keep looking at this and you're going to keep feeding us money. They don't want to see Joseph Parker fight Usyk. And it's really just sad. So, I feel very sorry for Joseph Parker, who is a deserving winner. But I'm also excited to see Usyk versus Wardley because I love watching Wardley. And he's a great knockout artist. Still undefeated, so that's it from me. I may take this episode down in future. I don't plan to make episodes explicit or be ranting like this or saying this and that about people, but yeah. Well, look, I'll catch you in the next one. I'll see you.